Hello. Hello, everybody. Hi. We're going to wait for a few more people to join us before we get into the juicy stuff. So, if you can hear me, just give me a yes in the chat box. Great. Great. Okay. So, I have a couple of screens going today so I can monitor the chat and so that I can serve you well. So, forgive me if I'm darting around my two screens, but just driving the ship. So, got a few more people jumping in here. Hi, everyone. Hello. Okay. So, once you're in, let me know if you can hear me, and I'd love to hear where you're from. I'd love to hear who is joining us and where you're from. Sydney, hi. I'm in Perth, as a lot of you know already. Melbourne, Birmingham, England, right? Wow. Auckland, hello. Fantastic. More Sydney. London, hello. We're on opposite sides of the world, so I'm so grateful to have you here. What else have we got? Dubai, hi. I would love to do a newborn workshop live in Dubai. That would be amazing. All right, so let's get into it. You can hear me okay? Great. At any time, you can ask questions in the chat box. I would love to get into those. So, I'm Mel Cieslik. Welcome to this free training where you are going to take away some valuable marketing strategies. I wish I knew when I was starting out my business. We didn't have Instagram when I started my business in 2010. So there was no option of just creating a reel and hoping for the best or doing a giveaway. Um, so the strategies that I brought into my business some 14 years ago are still very valuable and they work to this day. So I feel like I built my business at a crucial time to have these skills to be able to now pass on to my students. So if you stay till the end of the training, we're going to get through a few things, but if you stay until the end of the training, I've got a little gift for you. So I will make this worth your while, but you're also going to take away some amazing, amazing tools for you to implement today. So, who am I? Who am I to be training you today? Who am I to have valid information? Well, I'm Mel Cieslik, and I have been a newborn photographer for 14 years full time. Like, I'm talking paying my bills, not relying on anyone else. And I've always been into photography. So, from a young age, gosh, 30 years ago, I picked up a camera. So, and I absolutely adored Anne Geddes. So, there's this full passion for photography as well as the passion for newborns from way back. And at the time, I didn't know I wanted to be a newborn photographer, but I knew I wanted to take photos. I played with composition, I played with light, I played with color, but it was all film back then. So the whole editing side of things, it's simple to pick up, but that was a relatively new part of my business. But I have a newborn studio, a natural light studio in Perth, and this has been running for 14 years. So in 2019, still got some people joining. Hello. In 2019, I was awarded the Newborn Photographer of the Year in my state of Western Australia by the AIPP. And this is huge. Like, this was kind of what made me finally kind of recognize, or I was recognized as an amazing photographer, as someone that I knew what I was doing. I finally had gotten there. And that is when I started coaching other photographers. I find so much joy in imparting my knowledge into other photographers because there's so much more to the business than just taking beautiful photos. We're not marketing gurus. We didn't go to uni and do marketing. We take beautiful photos. So these days, with we've been through so much. We've had COVID. Now we've got this downturn in the economy, and almost every second person has picked up a camera and become a photographer. So the market is completely saturated. And how are we going to stand out from the photographer down the road? Excuse me, I need a drink. So the story is the same for all of us, right? We want to turn our passion into a rewarding career. We want to quit our day job. I remember in 2010, that's when I started my photography business. I was working in the city. I had a corporate job. I was catching the bus. I was getting up at like 5:30 in the morning to get ready to jump on the bus in the freezing cold. And I was so over it. I'm not a corporate girl. I'm not a suit girl. I barely wear shoes and I'm creative. I found that anytime I was creative, like making my jewelry or doing pottery or taking photos, I entered this realm of peace and flow and just overall joy. And I just knew I had to make my dream of becoming a full-time photographer a reality. So I was shooting weekends and I was shooting, sorry, I'm still looking at the chat box. Um, I was doing evenings, I was doing weekends, I was doing whatever I could do. I was doing parties, engagements, newborns, families, weddings, like everything. Uh, and I wasn't charging that much, right? So people were recommending me probably because I was Perth's most cheapest photographer. But it got to a point where I wanted to transition. I wanted to quit my day job and just do photography full time. But there was no way when you run the numbers, there was absolutely no way with my capacity on a daily basis. This is before kids too, that I could charge $250 and work full time as a photographer and meet my corporate salary. So I definitely had to put my prices up. So I did this. I quit my day job and I implemented these marketing strategies that I'm about to talk about. And I was shooting, I think, full time. Oh no, I was shooting on the side for 5 months. So I had my day job and I was doing weekends and evenings and everything for 5 months. And I had reached my capacity and I was starting to turn people away. So it was time to bite the bullet, quit my day job and go full time as a photographer. And I couldn't believe it. In the first year alone, I had to put my pricing up 3 times because I was fully booked. I had a wait list and I was earning 3 times the amount of what I was in my corporate job. So this is mind blowing. So, um, yeah, my job was paying more than I could have ever imagined. So today I want to share with you the marketing strategies that I used to catapult my business, not only in the beginning, but to sustain me for the next 14 years and to this day, through COVID, through the downturn and whatnot. But before we go into those, I want to share a little bit of an anecdote about one of my coaching students. This is Julie. Now, Julie was in the same position actually. She had 3 kids, she was working a day job, her husband was working away, and she wanted to do photography full time because that allowed her to work during school hours. It allowed her to do a few shoots in the evenings when her husband was back from FIFO and things like that so he could have the kids. So she had absolutely no marketing strategy. She had no marketing strategy whatsoever because this just wasn't on her radar. She would do a follow campaign on social media, but at the end of the day, people just saw her as a shoot and burn, a cheap and nasty photographer. So she came to me and said, "Look, something's got to give. I'm getting burnt out. I'm really, really tired." And we did a 3-month kind of marketing coaching, mentoring journey with her. And she finally quit her day job. She quit her day job after 3 months of coaching with me. And she started making 150K per annum profit with 3 kids and a husband that worked away just by shooting families and newborns. Um, because there was this whole gamut of marketing that she hadn't even explored. And once she did that, her whole life changed. And that was mind blowing for me. And well, I'd done it, but I didn't have 3 kids and it worked for her and she managed it. And so the content that I used in her course is now in one of my courses, Capture the Market, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But the first point I want for you to take away from this free training is defining your ideal client. And we've heard it all before. Okay. You want to identify your ideal client, give her a name, give her a face. Like if there's a client that you have that you love and she's just like the epitome, then I want you to envisage her every time you create content. All right. So the more specific you are at narrowing down this client, then the better. She may be a man, maybe a woman, but typically most of my clients are women. So defining her is the success, the first step to successful marketing. So one of my courses, Capture the Market, is all about marketing for family and newborn photographers. And once we go into this in a whole lot more detail about defining your client and how to find them, but once you do this, there's this clarity, there's this overall overwhelming clarity that comes through, and you're going to hit the target every time. But if everyone's your client, then no one is, because guess what? People are watching your content and they're not resonating. But if you have an ideal client and you're thinking of her when you're creating everything, then that specific person is going to be your client. The second thing I want to go into today is establishing a strong brand presence. All right. So, solid branding is crucial. It's the first thing a potential customer sees. So, it impacts client perception in the first 2 seconds of exposure. You might be scrolling online and see a clothing brand, right? And you know that that's your brand. That's speaking to you because of the way the photos are taken, or the way the woman looks, or the colors, or the patterns, or the soft organic textures. So when a potential photography client sees your brand and your logo and your website and the way you take photos, then they can resonate. All right. And that comes back to your ideal client as well. So successful photographers all have consistent visual identity, the tone, the messaging. It speaks to that customer immediately and they follow you. All right. I'm not going to always talk about social media, but if they were on your Instagram, they would hit follow, which is getting really hard, like harder and harder for people to do these days. They're not commenting, they're not following, they're just kind of being on the periphery until there's something that makes them want to follow. So if they're vibing with you, they will continue to dive deeper into your profile. They'll click on your link in bio, they'll go to your website, and they want to know what you've got and where they can buy. The third thing I want to go into is creating a marketing plan that works. So having a solid step-by-step plan tailored to your business is crucial. So it should contain a combination of the following things, like an email list, if you want to get a pen and write this down, a referral program, and local collaborations. So I want you to put in the box, yes or no. Have you got any of these? All right. No. No. Email list. What's an email list? Oh, crikey. So, one, have you got an email list? I want a one in the box if you've got an email list. One person. Okay. Let's put a 2 in the box if you've got a referral program. Anybody? All right. No referral programs. And what about local collaborations? Put a 3 in the box. All right. Cool. We are in for a treat. So if you are solely relying on Instagram, the platform where your posts are dead in the water after 24 hours, Then burnout is just around the corner because you'll start to feel like the gram owns you. All right. And you're constantly on the hamster wheel of content creation. Can I get a hell yeah? Yeah. We are dedicating all of our spare time to creating reels and carousels and posts and stories. But the algorithm is not your friend. And I mean, you have to go crazy, crazy viral for non followers. I don't know if you've checked your analytics, but you've got to go crazy viral for a non follower to see your reel. And if you've only got like a couple of hundred followers, then things get really, really tough for you. Okay. And so if you're constantly putting all your eggs in the Instagram basket, then your that as a marketing strategy is not enough. All right. So don't get me wrong, I love using social media. I really do. And I love to attract and engage my audience. It's a great way to keep my relationships current, pretty much. So I watch their buds grow. I watch them get married. I watch when they're pregnant again. It's an amazing platform for that. But it's just not enough. Okay. So I'll give you this tip. Next time you do a shoot, let's write this one down. Next time you do a shoot for someone, make sure you follow them back. This is the best tip. Follow them back on social media. Then, please, 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 every single client gets a carousel post, a reel, and a story. Not all in the same 24 hours. So you will space these over a month, over 2 months. And with all of the clients, then if they're all spaced out, it feels like lots and lots of content. And I want you to tag your client in every one of these. So tag them both with that little icon with the head, and then you want to hashtag, or not hashtag, but and then their name in the story. And also collaborate. You can collaborate with them on a reel so that it shows up on their profile. Now, what happens when you do these tagging and these sharing and these collaborations is this content will then show on your client's social media page. And who sees that content? Their friends and family, who are potentially not following you, nor are they going to see your content if it's not viral. So this is social proof that you are a great photographer. This is social proof that your client loves your work. And so it's kind of like an unspoken referral from your client to their friends. A lot of people come in to me and they're like, oh, yes, I was recommended by blah, blah, blah. And I go back to blah, blah, blah. And I say, thank you so much for the referral. And they're like, oh, no, I didn't even know she was pregnant. But they went to school together and she must have seen the Instagram reel or the post or whatever. So I love that Instagram allows you to do this. This was not a thing when I started my business, but that's a great way to use social media effectively if you're constantly staying in touch with your clients. And building that relationship with your clients allows you to be top of mind every time they have another milestone or another family member, or something special happens in their family, so they will think of you. We didn't have that when I started my business. Facebook just didn't perform the way that Instagram does. So and the next part I want to go into is automating and streamlining your workflow. I feel like I'm the automation queen. When I had my daughter 3 years ago, I was shooting the same amount, but I had a fraction of the admin time. I was working every single day, like as much as I wanted. I didn't have kids, so I could do whatever I want, whenever I want. And then when I had my daughter, my automations went into hyperdrive. I was systematical. I had systems, but now I was super systematical. I was automated. And so I have my email workflows, my marketing newsletter, my invoicing, my inquiries, everything I can think of. Whatever can be automated is. All right. So this can save time and scale your business. And in my signature course, the Newborn Photography Business Blueprint, which is a whole other kettle of fish, this is my all-encompassing newborn photography workshop, so online course. This goes through tools that I use to set up all my systems and procedures for my business, but also simplify my marketing efforts. So my course that includes marketing is called Capture the Market. And this is a course for newborn and family photographers. Um, can I have a show of hands here of anyone who's done any online training? So just give us a yes in the chat box if you've done any online training, any courses. Okay, a few. On a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being you didn't finish it and 10 being you did finish it. Did you finish it? No, you didn't. 1, a 2. Yeah, I wonder why you didn't finish it. Some courses just are too long and you just can't get through them. So with Capture the Market, I love that I can provide enough information for you to be able to finish the course, for you to be able to take away and do the homework and not be overwhelmed. So mini courses are a great way to grow your business. Instead of biting off more than you can chew, you'd bite off little chunks and you can get through them. So in Capture the Market, I share with you time-saving hacks, detailed marketing strategies, marketing email templates, referral programs, SEO strategies, and so much more. So how have I maintained my relationships with my clients for over a decade? It all comes to creating the ultimate client experience. And that is from well before the session. That starts like when they first send their first inquiry, or they like a post, or they like an image. My clients come back, they tell their friends, and it's not just because of the beautiful photos, it's because of the overall experience. So, since you've joined us for the webinar today, I have an exclusive offer for you. I have bundled my 14 years of experience, my trials, my mistakes. I've gained the knowledge to be able to share with you how I market my business, how I stay fully booked, and how I tripled my income in the first year of being full time. So I want to take the guesswork out of building your business and building a thriving business, not just a business that you do on the side, but a thriving full-time photography business. There are so many small businesses closing down. I mean, we're seeing them everywhere. And I honestly feel like this is due to a lack of knowledge. It's due to a lack of skills with marketing. And I know marketing costs a lot of money. So you need to become the marketing guru. You need to get into the mindset of learning absolutely everything you can about marketing. So, like I said, I've been in business for 14 years and I am making multiple six figures with only working 3 days a week. All right. So there's a lot that goes into that, but I must be doing something right. So I want to share my knowledge with you. Normally, I would sell this course, so the one that I did with Julie, for $2,500. All right. But I've had people have come together to come to me and asked, I can't afford that. That course that I did with Julie, we met every week. We were together for 3 months. I pushed her along. I answered her questions. There was a lot of touch points with myself. But people just do not have the budget, and it's really, really tough out there. And if you just want the content that I shared with Julie, then I've bundled it here for you today. You obviously won't get one-on-one advice, but you will get all the content in video modules, templates, and strategies. So this is a Learn at Your Pace course. It's now available to you for just $297. I'd hate for you to be another statistic and wonder if you are just invested in your growth, how things might look in 6 to 12 months' time. Will you be closing down? Will you be taking out, more money on your mortgage, or will you be thriving? So think about how much you charge for a newborn shoot. How many newborn shoots do you have to do to pay for this $297? One? Half? I hope it's half. So when you sign up via the link below, you'll also receive an extensive bonus Lightroom editing course. This is valued at $297 also. And if you're not 100% satisfied with the course content, capture the market, let me know within 14 days and I will completely refund you, no questions asked. I want to be sure that this is the content for you. I've got nothing to hide and I want to change the trajectory of your business. Great. Thanks, Amanda. That's great. So I'll open up to any questions now. And I hope, yay, yay, that's great, Chelsea. Yes, I'm loving seeing these people. That's great. You're in. Awesome. Any further questions? Follow me on Mel_Cieslik__ photography. And I hope that this has been a valuable training for you. Oh, you've got the course too. Fantastic. That's great, Joe. Yes. Great. Thank you everyone for having me today. And like I said, yeah, there are some strategies that we can use from today's webinar, but there is a whole lot more in Capture the Market. So if you would like to purchase Capture the Market, it is available via the link. As have Amanda, Joe, and Chelsea purchased the course. You will not regret it. Have a great day, and I hope to see you all on the gram. Bye.